I always remember Alfred Hitchcock. In the evening, he would say at the beginning of his show, "Good evening." Sorry. Shri Krishna Balarama Katha, Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsimhadeva Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Shatari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Tatta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Pranamami Haripriye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today continues to be the Purnima day, the day of Lord Balaram's appearance. We can look at a couple of things about his appearance. And let's see what else. And then I thought we just can read some more from Bhagavatam, the killing of Dhenukasura, leading up to that. We'll see how it goes. Krishna, 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 Hey. 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 In English, that would be considered very impolite to address God with "Hey," like, "Hey, you." But in Sanskrit, it's an exclamation expressing surrender, calling out to the Lord. Okay, some details about Balaram's appearance, very briefly. First is the point that Purnamasi Who is Purnamasi? Yogamaya. What is her relation in the different relations?
Madhumangal's grandmother?
Madhumangal's grandmother. Could be. Anyway, she comes together with Madhumangala. And Madhumangala, you know, you've heard about Madhumangala. He's always kind of putting on a show like he's a big Brahmin who knows so many mantras. So sometimes he babbles some pseudo mantras. And he seems to brag a lot. And he has one simple motivation. What is his motivation?
To get some sweets.
To get some sweets. Anything. He'll do or say anything to get some sweets. He poses, did you know? He poses himself as being a student of Narada Muni. So they arrive in Braj, in Vrindavan, Purnamasi, together with Madhumangala. Okay. And the time of their arrival it coincided with the time of Yashoda's unknown pregnancy. It wasn't known that she was pregnant. Does that happen? Does that sound likely? Does that happen? I don't know. Yeah? If it's early in the pregnancy, right? After some time, it gets kind of obvious, doesn't it? No? Yeah. Anyway, it says, they arrived, yet unknown pregnancy of Yashoda. And the whole community of cowherds were anxious that Nanda and Yashoda would have a male heir. They wanted that they would have a son because they, like kings, they're always wanting to have a male son to continue their line. But in this case, we're speaking about the Brajavasis, and of course they're intimately related with Krishna, who has not yet appeared. And so their mood is that of laulya. What means laulya? Eagerness, yes. Great, intense eagerness. They were eager to see Krishna. So Purnamasi came, and she was something of a mystic. And so she was able to inform the residents of Braja, and of course Nanda and Yashoda, that indeed the person they all longed for was in the womb of Mother Yashoda. Imagine how happy everyone was to hear this. Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Just around this time, another lady appeared, and she was described as childbearing, auspicious childbearing lady. And she came stealthily. That means not advertising herself, but just slipping into the scene. And she came on a black mare. What is a mare? A mare is a female horse. Yeah. She came on a black female horse. She was named after the constellation, the asterism, Rohini. So you know who this is referring to. And this asterism, this figure in the sky with stars, is considered to be Aruna, reddish in color. Aruna also means the time before the sun rises. So it's a reddish. And so this Aster is a reddish cow. So Rohini, the mother of Balaram, is compared to this reddish cow, which brings always good news of a harvest that will be very bountiful. So this is an agricultural area, and they are always concerned with the weather conditions, and of course they want the rain to come at the right time, not too much, not too little. This is always an anxiety for farmers. So Rohini coming on a black mare was a good sign. There's going to be auspiciousness, there's going to be a good harvest. So Rohini met with Yashoda. And they immediately exchanged very affectionate exchanges. And this exchange between the two mothers is a kind of parallel to the affection which would be there between Krishna and Balarama. So we can kind of picture this nice parallel of feelings, the feelings of friendship of Rohini and Yashoda, and the feelings of Krishna and Balaram, or of Balaram and Krishna, affectionate feelings. Today is the full moon day of Shravana, and it's 8 days before the appearance of Nandana Krishna, Yashomati's Nandana. Yashomati Nandana Vrajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana Amala Harina Amiya Vilasa Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagarabara Vamshivadana Suvasa. So Rohini's sun appears on the full day of the full moon of the month of Shravana. And acharyas are kind of at a loss for words at the wonder of Balaram. They're at a loss for words, but still they speak. We have that expression. when something is really extraordinary. Tell me what happened. I can't tell you. So amazing. Not because there's nothing to say, but because there's too much to say. So Balaram is described as being crystal-like in complexion. Crystal-like. What kind of image does that conjure in your mind? A crystal-like appearance, huh? Sparkling, shining, sparkling, beautiful, clear, transparent. Imagine looking through Balaram. Rainbowy. We have a new word. Initially, when Balaram appeared as charming and utterly, stunningly attractive as he seemed to be unconscious of everything around him. He was like just not conscious of what was going on. Today we might say, oh, maybe he was autistic. However, when Mother Yashoda took Balaram into her lap, so Mother Yashoda is pregnant with Krishna. Krishna has not yet appeared. She takes little Balaram in her lap. Balaram could feel Krishna in her stomach. So only after Krishna appeared, did this feature that he seemed to be oblivious to everything. Only then did Balaram start to sort of come into, what we might call normal consciousness, attentive to the world around him. So Krishna had to first appear. Before that, Balaram was not connected, you could say. But he could feel, huh? Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, indeed. Balaram has various names. He's known as Rama. He's known as Bala. He's known as Balarama. As we mentioned this morning, he's also known as Sankarshana. He's also known as Baladeva. And yes, as we also discussed this morning, he is Krishna's best friend, as well as being his older brother. How many of you have older brothers? Who has younger brother? Are they your friends? That's good. It's good to have brother friends. Who has older sister? Who has younger sister? Oh, most of you have younger sisters. What does the statistics say about devotee demographics? Balaram's beauty knows no bounds. There's no limit to his beauty. His feet are soft, like lotuses. Now, we often hear about lotuses, isn't it? But who has seen a real lotus flower? Really? I wonder if you've seen a real lotus flower. A lot of flowers that are actually lilies or something, we think they're lotuses. I saw many years ago many real lotuses in Guyana in northern South America, growing like weeds on the side of the road. Bright pink with the big, what do you call the flat surface? Anyway, they were the real deal. They were, when I saw those lotuses, I said, now I understand what is a lotus. His hands, the hands of his long arms reach to his knees. Now, I've heard this before, and I must confess, I've always wondered if this is a sign of beauty or what, because it just seems strange to have arms that long. There are monkeys who have arms that long. But it's considered, I don't know, I think it's an exaggeration. I think they just say like that, maybe reaching toward the knees, but actually coming down to the knees. Too much? I don't know. Yeah. This is, I'm being very irreverent here, but his broad chest is garlanded with gunjamala. You know these little berries, they're red and white and black. And what I've heard is they're highly poisonous. If you eat them, they're highly poisonous. And they're used in Africa in black magic. Yeah. Why did I say that? That spoils the whole atmosphere. Sorry. Balaram's dark hair is tied in a top knot, circled with many forest flowers. Now, I read this and I wonder, was he born like this, with so much hair and a top knot? I don't know. Another description of his complexion is that it is very clear and white, like reflective moonlight. Okay. All right, so this is Balaram. Oh, he has a single earring. Why only one? Apparently this was a sign of a of a yogi. There's a passage in Chaitanya Charitamrita where King Prataparudra threatens that if he cannot have darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's going to renounce the world and become a yogi with, I think it mentions, a single earring. Okay. Which ear? It doesn't say. Okay, that's a little about Balaram's appearance. Huh. Nityananda. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Nice. Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Nityananda Rama ki jai. Here's a little about Balaram's identity, his tattva. This is from the Harivamsha. The Harivamsha is often referred to as an appendix to the Mahabharata. And in this verse, Krishna is speaking to Balaram. He says, "That which I am, you are as well. That which you are, I am as well in eternity. We have become two, but we are certainly one in two bodies, a pair endowed with great power." So I mentioned this morning, we worship two gods. We are not monotheists. Or are we? Yes, no. Who says we are monotheists? Who says we are duotheists? Everyone else who didn't vote, they're being cautious. They don't want to commit themselves. There's Krishna Balaram. There's Radha Krishna. What was that? Panchatattva? Yeah, there's Panchatattva. Exactly. There's Das Avatar. Atmani Vedana. Are we monotheists? We are. Whew, okay. But Panchatattva, Krishna Balaram, Radha Krishna. Oh, you're pulling out the Achintya Veda Vedas card. That's an easy out. Yes, Mohan.
From one devotee scholar, I heard that our monotheism is very rich. It's a rich monotheism.
Rich monotheism. Yeah, I like that. Yes, yes. Our mono is many. We are many monotheists. I thought we could just continue from where we read this morning. We were reading Krishna's complimenting Balaram. I'll read the translation of that verse again. This is, again, Canto 10, Chapter 15, the killing of Dhenuka, the ass demon. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O greatest of lords, just see how these trees are bowing their heads at your lotus feet, which are worshipable by the immortal demigods. The trees are offering you their fruits and flowers to eradicate, to remove the dark ignorance that has caused their birth as trees. And it's mentioned in the purport that although it says this in the verse, that Krishna says that they're bowing down to eradicate the dark ignorance, actually they are worshipable by the demigods, Brahma and so on, because they are perfectly liberated. But still they have this feeling that they can't follow Krishna when he goes through the forest. They have to stay where they are. So Krishna goes by, and they're like, that's fun. Continuing, ete linastava yashokila lokatirtam gayanti adi purushanupatam bhajante prayo ami manugana bhavadiya mukhya gudhang vanepina jahatyanagatmadailam. Oh, original personality. So this is still Krishna speaking to Balarama. These bees must all be great sages and most elevated devotees of yours, for they are worshipping you by following you along the path and chanting your glories, which are themselves a holy place for the entire world. Though you have disguised yourself within this forest, O sinless one, they refuse to abandon you, their worshipable Lord. So the trees, they were not able to move, but the bees, they can move. Now keep in mind, this is Vrindavan, and it's so significant. These first several chapters of the 10th canto are Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, and we can underline this, in Vrindavan. The emphasis is on where Krishna is having these pastimes. There's a location, there's a place where Krishna is having his pastimes, and it is a wonderful place. Where here Krishna is joking with Balaram and saying, oh, look at the trees and the bees, they're all worshipping you. And it's kind of a joke because Krishna is the original form, but they are one and the same, and because their mood is one of friendship, there's also place for joking. So Krishna is joking with Balaram. Do you have friends that you can joke with? Yes. No? Yes. Good. Because if you can't joke, that's a problem. That's a problem. Nrityantyami shikina idyamuda harinya kurvanti gopya ivate priyam ikshanena. Suktaischa kokila gana grihamagataya danyavanokasa iyan hisatang nisarga. O worshipable one, Krishna continues, these peacocks are dancing before you out of joy. These doe means female deer, are pleasing you with affectionate glances. just as the gopis do. And these cuckoos are honoring you with Vedic prayers. All these residents of the forest are most fortunate, and their behavior toward you certainly befits great souls receiving another great soul at home. So befit, that means is appropriate, is the right thing to do. So all of these different beings of the forest are identified as great souls, and they're receiving another great soul, Balarama. There's so much in the Bhagavatam about reception, receiving guests, receiving honored persons. In the first canto, can you think of an example of a reception, description of a reception? First canto? Yes, Subha. Queens of Dwaraka, yes. You can say the residents of Dwaraka, specifically the queens also, yes. Any other receptions? Yes. Shukadev Goswami is being received, isn't he? Who is receiving him? Huh? Everybody, yeah. All the sages. Maharaj Parikshit, of course, they've come together because Maharaj Parikshit has come for enlightenment, instruction, and they all don't know what to tell him. And then when Shuka appears, immediately everyone understands, he's the one, he can tell. And he doesn't have to advertise himself. He just shows up, and everyone clears back and offers obeisance. There's another reception in the first canto which doesn't go so well. What's that? What's happened? Shamika and Parikshit. Parikshit Maharaj has come. He's hungry, he's thirsty, he's tired, and he's short-tempered as a result. And so when Shamika Rishi doesn't welcome him, not that he's against him in any way, he's just absorbed in meditation. He's just, it can be said that he had also made a vow of silence. And so his situation was not understood by Parikshit Maharaj. Very important lesson for all of us. When we encounter different people, they may respond to us in a different way than we hope, and we make some presupposition about their mentality. We may not actually understand what they're about, and then we may make offense. So anyway, that's an important lesson from the first canto. Reception in, let's see, fourth canto. Prithu and the Kumaras, okay. That's a nice reception. Yes, Savitri-san. Shiva and Sati. Yeah. A rather troubled reception, wouldn't you say? Yes. Yeah, okay. Okay, Shri Shuka Uvacha. Evam Vrindavanam Srimat Krishna Prita Manapashun Reme Sancharayan Adre Sadit Rodhasu Sanugaha Sa-anugaha. Shukadeva Goswami said, thus expressing his satisfaction with the beautiful forest of Vrindavan and its inhabitants, Lord Krishna enjoyed tending the cows and other animals with his friends on the banks of the river Yamuna below Govardhan Hill. Now this scene is a very nice scene to picture. There are several pictures offered to us, many pictures offered, especially in the 10th canto. And you can take such a verse and you can turn it mentally into a picture. You can make a mental painting without the assistance of AI. Imagine that. Oh, now we get more description. Do you want to hear more description of Vrindavan? Okay. Kvachit gayati gayatsu madandalishvanu vratai upagiyamana charita pati sankarshananvita anujalpati jalpantam kalavakyai shukam kvachit savalgu kujantam anukujati kokilam kvachitcha kalahangsanam anukujati kujitam abhinrityati nrityantam barhinam hasayan kvachit mega gambirayat vacha namabir duragan pashun kvachit ahvayati pritya go gopala manonyaya. Sometimes the honeybees in Vrindavan became so mad with ecstasy that they closed their eyes and began to sing. I never heard of bees closing their eyes. Can bees close their eyes? I didn't think so. Huh? They don't have eyelids. So how are they going to close their eyes if they don't have eyelids? Huh? Maybe internally they close their eyes. And they began to sing. Lord Krishna, moving along the forest path with his cowherd boyfriends and Baladeva, would then respond to the bees by imitating their singing while his friends sang about his pastimes. How would you imitate the singing of bees? So Krishna and his friends were imitating the sound of the bees. Sometimes Lord Krishna would imitate the chattering of a parrot. Now, these parrots in Vrindavan, who's been to Vrindavan? Who has not yet been to Vrindavan? You have to go to Vrindavan. So the parrot, can anybody imitate a Vrindavan parrot? They have a much higher pitch, actually. It's a very piercing sound. Screeching, kind of screeching sound, isn't it? Yeah, the green parrots. So that's something. Krishna would imitate the chattering of the parrot. Sometimes, with a sweet voice, he would imitate the call of a cuckoo. Anyone know what a cuckoo sounds like? Okay. And sometimes they would imitate the cooing of swans. Do swans coo? What's the sound of a swan? That's a duck. Sometimes he, that is Krishna, vigorously imitated the dancing of a peacock. Does anyone want to demonstrate how that would go? Huh?
When he was a boy, because his name was Paul Koch. So Paul in Holland in Dutch is peacock. So his friend would invite him to dance like a peacock, and he would put his hands in pockets of his jacket and turn it. Have you seen that?
Okay. But we're looking now for someone to show us how this would be, not just a description. Okay, that's part of it, but dancing means with feet. Everyone is so shy. We're all so serious. Sometimes he vigorously imitated the dancing of a peacock, making his cowherd boyfriends laugh. We don't hear so much about, in the Jewish and Christian tradition, we don't hear so much about God's humor, do we? It's all terribly serious, very serious. But here Krishna is having a good time. He's laughing, he's joking, he's imitating. Sometimes with a voice as deep as the rumbling of clouds, he would call out with great affection the names of the animals who had wandered far from the herd. In other words, the cows. Thus enchanting the cows and the cowherd boys. So Krishna calls the names of the cows. How many cows does Nanda Maharaj have? 900,000 cows. Each one has their own name, and each one responds to their name. And Krishna knows all the names of all the cows. Imagine that. When I was in North Maharashtra during the COVID, there was this big lockdown, and I was fortunate to stay at a farm run by devotees, which has approximately 200 cows, all Gir cows, and they have about 30 to 35 milking cows. This is the farm which is run by ISKCON Juhu in Mumbai. And so every morning, the routine of milking the cows would begin with the cowherd boys calling one calf after another. All the calves were kept in one pen that was maybe half the size of this temple room. A lot of calves, they were all together. And they would call the name of one calf, and that calf would come to the gate. Half the other calves also wanted to come, but he would push them back and say, no, this one. And then he would let the one calf through, and the calf would run out and run to his mother and start sucking milk. And within a few seconds, Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsingadev Ki Jai. Within a few seconds, they would pull the calf away and tie the calf next to the cow, and then they would milk the cow. Didn't seem so ideal, the arrangement. Anyway, the point is, all the calves, they had names or have names, and they knew their names. But that tradition is not only from India. Just a few days ago, I met one devotee from Ireland. He came also to this conference on animal ethics that I attended. And he's also into cows, and he used to have some cows himself. He said gradually they all died off. He didn't replace them because he said, I don't know how long I'm going to live, so I can't commit myself to cows that are going to live 20 years. Anyway, he's into cows, and he's done research, and he found a book which is describing about the culture of cows in Ireland going back to the 8th century. That means 700s. And it's described there. The people really worshipped cows, and they gave them all names, and they never thought of killing the cows. This was in Ireland. Yeah. Time for arti. Let's see. Shri Shri Krishna Balarama Ki Jai. So I think let's end there, and we just wanted to share a little bit meditation on Balaram with Krishna in Vrindavan. So I encourage you to remember Krishna in Vrindavan with Balaram, Balaram with Krishna in Vrindavan, with the trees, with the bees, with the cuckoos, with the peacocks. And this is so nice. Just a simple meditation like this. Okay. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki. Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsingadev Ki. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.